All right, let's get to it.
All right, the chat is ready for this.
Let's get to it, folks.
The second quarter, let's do it.
WTF moments of the night. The moments of the night. Bree, I'm sorry we hit you early with the WTF early because we got a lot of moments and we have to get to them because social media was buzzing. We were buzzing. Even the television broadcast was buzzing. This was the talk of the sports world tonight. So let's start off with number one. Andre Drummond first gets ejected. He had already picked up a tech, right, from this Wembanyama stuff, and then he gets ejected. So, Rich, let's just talk through it.
So, as you see, Devon, the second Wemby falls, the official on the bottom left corner there, she makes the call right away. Technical foul.
Nick Nurse is going berserk, by the way.
It's among the maddest I've ever seen Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse, obviously, he always has that perplexed look, right?
Yes.
You know, he might take the glasses off. He might start rubbing the eyes a little bit.
Yes.
He was hot, man. He was absolutely pissed at this call. As you can see, the ref makes the call right away. Technical foul, Andre Drummond.
Big time flop, by the way, from Wembanyama. Smart, but big time flop by Wembanyama on that particular play. Big time flop.
Yeah. Or, I mean, at best, he tripped
Thank you,
over.
Bree. Yes.
At best, he tripped over Drummond's foot. That's the charitable way to talk about it. I'm with you. I think it's a flop.
And that's a foul. All right, fine. They give him a foul.
No, it's not a foul.
But I'm just saying because you know how they call trips. Yeah. So, all right, if you give him a foul on that one, fine. If he goes nuts then and earns a technical because he's going berserk, then he got his money's worth. But this one, man, Nick Nurse had every right to go nuts the way that he did. I even said to the team in here, Rich and Bree and Chris, Nick Nurse, get ejected, man. Get yourself ejected for that one because that was insane.
You were yelling, get tossed.
Get tossed. Because
he looked like he was listening to you.
It was a low-scoring game. They felt like they didn't have any juice. And I'm like, this is going to get, you know how sometimes this happens and you just say, all right, somebody gets tossed and it energizes the team overall. I want to see who's going to coach the rest of the game. I want to see how they uplift. Embiid at this time was still in the game, so he comes off. He would have to come off the bench for Drummond.
Was laughing at this.
Yes, he was, and he was talking to the official. He was discussing some things with her, like, "Come on, this isn't right. What are you doing here, Jenna? This is not right." And
it's bad that we all know her name.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, we know her name. We all know the names anyway, but still,
I'm not sure I knew her name.
You didn't know it was Jenna?
No.
Okay.
Now I do.
Yeah, Jenna Schroeder, whatever one. Jenna Schroeder. Okay, you know. All right, so that happens. He gets tossed. Everybody's losing their mind. The officials huddle. They have to go to the monitor to check it out. Video number 2. It's overturned. And what happens? Andre Drummond, he emerges from the tunnel. And he gets a standing ovation.
He gets the biggest pop he will ever get as a Sixer. Andre Drummond coming back from being unejected. Look at these kids clapping. Coming back in the game.
It's my bad. I bleeped up. And Bree, play that one again because that is hilarious. Is he more popular here or after he was traded to Brooklyn? He was insane.
It was insane. It was really funny. Good for Andre Drummond for coming back in the game there. If she just makes a normal call and just calls a foul on him, then he doesn't get that great moment.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. So unfortunately, he couldn't finish the game because of the toe injury, but what a moment.
Okay.
What a sequence, by the way.
But Devon, the ref show in that sequence was not over at that point. Because at some point there, they say, okay, not only is this not a technical foul on Andre Drummond, not only are we going to uneject him from the game.
Love uneject.
We're gonna give Victor Wembanyama a flopping tech. And we're going to let Tyrese Maxey shoot a free throw on the other end.
Yes.
Tyrese Maxey makes the free throw. You said at the time, that's nice that he saw one go in the hoop on that shot. But then one of the other officials, not Jenna Schroeder, goes to the monitor and says, hey, by the way, the flopping technical has been rescinded, and that free throw that we all watched Tyrese Maxey shoot, Yeah, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
It didn't happen. We're taking that off the board too. What is going on with that sequence?
Yeah, that was
what is going on?
Just insane. They took it away, so no point for Tyrese Maxey. But little did they know they got him going because he makes the free throw, then he fouls it up. Once the play resumes, he knocks down a three-pointer, Rich, that he needed because, again, he was 0-4 in that first quarter. And the final video that we have here is the one that we can't really laugh all that much at.
No, then it gets a little more
Joel
serious.
Embiid gets tossed. This is a long video, so we'll just talk through it, Rich. Joel Embiid gets ejected. Let's roll it, Bree, because he's running up the floor, normal play, trying to seal, trying to do what he does. Look. It was a charge.
I think that's a foul on Joe. Yeah.
That was a charge.
Yeah.
Now, he gets the tech here, right?
Well, for that stretch during the second quarter, it's clear that he probably was a little bit frustrated. And then he gets the charge call where Wemby takes it. And it's one of those calls where, Joel is trying to throw his weight around, right? Mm-hmm. That's the way he's going to beat Wemby.
Especially since on this one where there's a couple
he lost it.
He lost it a lot. And I jokingly was like, he didn't want to play tonight. He just wanted to get out of there, go take a shower. And Chris did later send us the video to show us that he was he waited in the tunnel to greet Tyrese Maxey after the game because of his big performance and closing this game out. Overall, here are my thoughts on the Embiid part of it, because this is the stuff that I don't like.
He needed to choose chill.
He That's right, Kyle.
He probably did, Kyle. At some point after the first tech, he probably needed to choose chill.
So my issue with the technical and the way that he reacted. I don't mind players getting emotional about a play that they disagree with the officials on. My issue is this: understand where things are within the game. While you're struggling, the team is also struggling, and you desperately need a win. So as much as we gave Nick Nurse and Joel Embiid credit for playing him in that Charlotte game, sitting him against the Cleveland Cavaliers, they needed him out there tonight to win this basketball game. In the end, they ultimately did not. Maybe some of that uplifted. You get a tech, you get ejected, team huddles, as we know, especially in the locker room, because that was in the second quarter. We all know how it goes in a locker room where you come together and say, we need to win this game collectively and find a way to do so. But my issue is this: he allows himself sometimes to get his allow his emotions to get the best of him. And that affects and impacts how things go with the team. More times than not, I'll say 8 times out of 10, I'm on his side when he does these kind of things. This one, he was wrong. And he could have cost his team in this game where, once again, we talked about it in the pregame. This was a winnable game that they needed to get. Number one, because they continue to try to stack wins. And number two, they have a tough road trip upcoming, beginning with the Boston Celtics in 2 days on Christmas.
That would have been bad. If he congratulates Tyrese Maxey after the game. If they lose this game and it's close, and it's one of those games where it's clear that he would have helped, I mean, we would have led the show with, man, Joel Embiid got suspended, and, I think our commentary would be the same on it. But for a team that really can't afford any losses that they can't afford to just throw away games at this point, he put them in a tough spot. So a couple guys are saying that he did not lose it after the first tech. Lose it might be like a little strong, but he's still pretty heated in a way that you are putting yourself at risk for another technical, especially with the fist pump and all those things. So he definitely escalated. Definitely he got angrier after the ejection for sure. Somebody said that Kyle Lowry wasn't holding him back on the sidelines after it was over.
He was trying.
I think that's fair. I mean, I do feel kind of ridiculous trying to break down an ejection at this point. I mean, we all saw what happened. Again, heat of the moment type thing. If you want to argue that the ref maybe take a little bit of a different route, try and walk away, and maybe just let him go for a few more seconds, hope he calms down after that first tech, I think there's an argument for that. I think a lot of the frustration with the ref tonight, Jenna Schroeder, one of those two, is that she made so many other bad calls besides this. Like the Drummond call was terrible. She said she effed up. There were a couple other calls. Kyle Lowry had an offensive foul called on him that was ridiculous. Nick Nurse was apoplectic on the sidelines. So
And we had another one where we were like, what does she do? What is she seeing? And,
Yeah. So is there an argument to be made that maybe she should have just let him go with one tech? Maybe. I don't know what that fine line is.
And we don't know what he said.
We don't know what he said.
To pick up that first tech. The first tech, like a lot of people were saying, he shouldn't have gotten it. Maybe he shouldn't have. We don't know what he said, though. And that's how it goes, like the C.J. Gardner-Johnson thing, where he gets slapped, right? But they decided, basically, whatever he said, it was too far. And that's how it went. And this is following, by the way, everything that happened with Drummond. So you would think that she has a much longer leash of tossing somebody or giving somebody a tech. I'm guessing he said something that was tech-worthy for the first one, just because we weren't there, so we don't know.
I'm guessing, but we don't know.
We don't.
We don't know.
We don't.
And it was a bummer. The whole thing. Look, we have people on both sides, right? Both sides in the chat saying, some people saying she was ridiculous. She needs to find a way to walk away from him and just, it's not about her. Like, look, star players getting ejected from games is bad for business in the NBA. The NBA is an entertainment product. I understand the refs are there to keep order, and they certainly have a job to do. But ideally, they would not be this big, like, a part of the story. They would not inject themselves in a way that these refs did tonight. Yeah. On the other hand, there are people saying that Joel can't put himself in that situation. And I guess, I don't know. I think both sides are there's probably some truth to what they are saying. Where you come down on it, probably also like your priors on Embiid factor into it there. Yeah. It was a tough situation. Luckily for Joel, Tyrese Maxey bails him out and the Sixers get away with it.
And Yabusele.
And Devon and I can laugh about it a little bit.
So two things. I jokingly said that maybe he didn't want to play. Again, I'm just kidding. I'm not saying he didn't want to play. He wanted to play. He was frustrated, but he wanted to play. I was just kidding. Al said, Devon, make sure you say that you were just kidding before people take that seriously. Yes, I was kidding. I know. I'm sure he wanted to play this game, especially against Wembanyama. He gets up for these games against these other stars, big men in the league, and he gave him 70 the last time out. So I'm sure he wanted to do so again here tonight, give him a good showing tonight. And he also said, Al did the 2-minute warning on Twitter. They said he touched her on the second tee. So if that's the case, I didn't see that, but Al, you saw it. I appreciate it. Just reading the comment, and that's what Al was sharing with us there tonight. So there's that.
So it was a crazy game. I will say, too, after that ejection, after Joel Embiid gets his second tech, man, the amount of Bronx cheers, she was hearing it the entire night. You could hear that through the TV, Devon, that every call that she was making, every call that really the entire officiating crew was making was getting a lot of scrutiny, a lot of sarcasm from the South Philadelphia crowd.
Yeah.
It was, the refs had an interesting night.
He let his frustrations get the best of him, and it could have cost his team. It did not. Tyrese Maxey saved the day. Yabusele picked up a lot of that slack at the 5 with both he and Drummond out. So good work by those guys. Those were our WTF moments of the night, presented by no one.
We all silly like the mayor.